Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. What are the environmental implications of the reclamation of the water bodies into urban land use? Explain with examples. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Land reclamation is the process of creating new land from sites such as the sea, lakes, riverbeds, and so on. The main body of the answer should be: the reclamation of water bodies into urban land use leads to various environmental consequences like damage to water ecology, increased incidence of flooding, species extinction, drinking water pollution, etc. Mumbai, which lost 71% of its wetlands between 1970 to 2014, is facing higher incidences of floods. Similarly, Bangalore had 262 lakes in the 1960s, now only 10 of them hold water. Encroachment of water bodies lead to concentration of harmful chemicals such as arsenic, copper, chromium in the water table. For example, encroachment of water bodies in West Bengal have led to high level of arsenic pollution. The water bodies in urban areas provide a diversity of values and uses ranging from ecological goods and services to direct production values. Conclusion of the answer is, therefore, there is urgent need to initiate efforts to restore, conserve, manage and maintain the water bodies as an inseparable part of the whole ecosystem. Question number 2. Right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India are freely available to the Indian citizens, but these rights are not absolute. Comment. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Constitution of India provides right to freedom under Article 19 and Article 19(1)(d) talks about to move freely throughout the territory of India. But this article also talks about that there can be reasonable restrictions on right to freedom. The main body of the answer should be: the grounds of imposing reasonable restrictions on this freedom are two, namely, the interests of general public and the protection of interests of any scheduled tribe. Examples of restriction right to movement. Public health. Number 1. Lockdown during the COVID time is one of the most recent examples of the reasonable restriction. Number 2. The Bombay High Court validated the restrictions on the movement of persons affected by AIDS. Interest of tribes. Number 1. Entry in the tribal areas is restricted to protect the distinctive culture, language, customs, and manners of scheduled tribes. Example: certain areas in Andaman and Nicobar Island, Northeast. Inner line permit. Number 1. Various areas of the states like Arunachal Pradesh require inner line permit from the outsiders to move in the restricted areas. Public order. Number 1. During curfew kind of situations for the security and safety purposes, movement of the people get restricted. Number 2. Use of Section 144 prohibits gathering of 4 or more people in the concerned area. Conclusion of the answer is, all the fundamental rights which have been provided under Indian Constitution are not absolute. For maintaining the social harmony and creating a balance between the individual rights and social harmony, reasonable restrictions on the fundamental rights is needed. Question number 3. Each year a large amount of plant material, cellulose, is deposited on the surface of planet Earth. What are the natural processes this cellulose undergoes before yielding carbon dioxide, water and other end products? Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Cellulose finds profound importance in plants, animals, microorganisms as well as in industry. Cellulose degradation takes place in the digestive tract of some of the mammals. It is usually hard to digest cellulose due to extensive cross-linking that exists among its fibers in the plant's cell wall. However, digestion can be facilitated if it is dissolved in some polar solvents like ionic solutions, etc. The main body of the answer should be cellulose digestion is limited to herbivores like cows, goats, sheep, etc. These mammals have bacteria that live in symbiotic relationship within the digestive tract of these mammals. These include Cellulomonas and Ruminococcus bacterial species. Cellulose gets yields into C02 or water after thermolysis process. Thermolysis of cellulose occurs at 350 degrees when decomposes into vapors of carbon dioxide and other aerosols. This temperature is called thermolytic temperature or pyrolytic temperature. In plants, cellulose is degraded by pathogenic enzymes. It also undergoes degradation at 350 degrees Celsius temperature. Conclusion of the answer is, cellulose is the most abundantly produced biopolymer on Earth.